Hello, good afternoon. My name is Hector Garcia, and this is my ninth video class assignment for the class of Migration and Health in the university. On this week, I was assigned to read three different articles. Talked about, of course, migration, talked about um, the health barriers, talked about the access of migrants and what are they going to suffer, what are they going to go through. But more important above all of that, this week it was different because I learned more specifically about human rights. What's correct, what's wrong, what I don't know, what's for sure going on in my country, in my head, everywhere, of different obstacles that can stop us, stop all migrants. And that's what I'll talk about. Hopefully, I want you to think about it, you that is watching my video. I want you to listen to me. Try to answer me and let's learn together. So, yeah, the access to healthcare among migrants. That's the title. Three different articles. The first one about the obstacles in the health access in migrants. I mean, I have already in past videos mentioned the barriers, economic barriers, social, cultural, language. Yeah. But in this time, we have different barriers. And I decided to talk to you about three main ones. First of all, administratives. What is an administrative barrier? Well, it's easy to explain. People don't have the correct documents. So yeah, that's something pretty bad. Because as long as they don't have something, a paper that can show their documents, their birth certificate, when they come from, how did they travel, if they travel legally. Of course, there's gonna be a lot of problems and a lot of obstacles. Maybe it's not gonna be impossible to look for health access or to look for a doctor. But yeah, it will be difficult in different procedures. Later on, I'll talk about two examples that I really liked in the reading. Of the other barrier, it's the disinformation, because yeah, Hector Garcia, I, Hector Garcia, I know that here in Mexico, me as a Mexican citizen, I know that in the Constitution, health is something that I must be able to have. If I get sick, if I get injured, if I got an illness, I have the right to go to a hospital because that's what the Constitution states. Unfortunately, I don't know what happens if I get injured in another country, which is wrong. Let's be honest. Let's ask ourselves, all those people that travel, that cross to the United States, for example, do they really do the correct research? Are they going knowing what they're gonna deal with? Do they know what are those laws? are those laws really gonna defend them? What I'm trying to say is that normally people who travels, people that want to go to a different country to look out for better opportunities, they don't really look out for the correct information. They don't know if they have the opportunity or if they have some laws that are gonna represent them. And last but not least, the barrier of the discrimination, because we all know that in vast majority of countries where people like to go for looking for a better job or something like that, there are a lot of racism. I'll give you the main example of the Republican Party of the United States, because unfortunately the current president of the States, well, he don't really loves he don't really love the Latin America, the Hispanic people. But of course, on this first article, it also talked about two different concepts, which I really liked. State of laws, which there are uh, a lot of, uh, well, yeah, a lot of laws that can be applied, but not as equal as I thought. A lot of discrimination and racism. Unfortunately, well, mm, the laws doesn't apply to everyone. That's all I'm gonna say. Maybe only because of I'm not as white as some people that are gonna treat me different. That's not supposed to happen, but right now on 2025, that's something that happens. And the second concept is the state of rights that should guarantee rights no matter nationality, which in my opinion, it's something that is kind of utopic, it's kind of perfect, and it's something that doesn't happen. Not at all countries. There are some little exceptions that later on I'll show you. There are two different examples which I liked. Victor, who is from the Salvador, has different multiple fractures. What's the problem here? He doesn't have the correct documents. That way, maybe, yeah, he will have the access to go to urgencies, but he won't be able, or it will be very hard for him to cover a health, uh, well, a health service. Okay. And the second one is Esperanza from Honduras, who got pregnant and she was denied the attention because her insurance was because her insurance couldn't go on because of not having the correct documents once again. So what are we supposed to do? Because I'm hating, I'm critic I'm doing a lot of criticism about most laws. What should we do? First of all, migrants should know what their rights are. Second of all, we should train health professionals and we should really look specifically for no racism, no matter where you come from. The second article, the it talked about that the health should be a right, but in some countries it got more it's more respectful than others. Even though those rights exist on a paper, like on the Constitution, migrants sometimes can be able to show it or to prove it against courts. Uh, don't, well, of course, they don't have the legal rights, the legal resources. So they're gonna be always with that, well, they're gonna be scared of going back to their country, getting back to their country. So there's like a kind of fight against human rights and sovereignty state. Um, in conclusion, in this second article, we need political will. As simple as that. Okay. And the third country, sorry. And the third article talked about the impact of the uses of health services. Okay. Which means that they made a study on London of 1,611 people. A lot of them they didn't have primary attention, and those from countries with a lot of wars going around, like Somalia, got cultural barriers. And there is a lot of people going to urgencies, maybe because in that place they can get denied, which is something really bad. You are obligated to go to urgencies instead of going to a general uh, doctor. So let's be quick. I don't have a lot of time. I already mentioned the main points. Was anything unclear to you? Not at all. I really got everything. Thanks. What was new? Well, a lot actually. Um, I didn't know that about the documents, the administrative barriers. I didn't know about the state of laws. And yeah, that I don't have the correct information. I'm not informed. I want to go to Germany, for example, but I don't really know if they will have my back. It changed my way of thinking, of course. Something that I would like to explore further. How do they treat Mexican people on health services, especially on Germany and on Norway, because Norway is one of the countries that I respect the most. And one specific example in my personal life. Well, I don't have one in my personal life, but I already gave two examples that were on the articles. And before it ends, I have this. That is a number of ratified key human rights instruments. Here we can compare different countries and how do they respect migrants and how do they treat them. We can compare this with United States and Mexico. Thank you. Hope you like it.